As a young girl, I acquired a couple nicknames. The first was Mama Sai. I got that nickname from, of course, mothering everyone that I saw, having great solutions, telling everybody what they should do and how fast they should do it. The second nickname I acquired was Eeyore. Right? That was because my self-talk was so bad. Someone would say, we're going to write a story. Why? I don't write good stories. Someone would say, take out your math books. Oh my gosh. Why do I have to do math? I'm terrible at it. So my teacher printed me up a wonderful sheet with Eeyore's face on it. Oh, bother. It was a good moment. It didn't quite change, but it was, I received it. Let's skip forward. 2011, I decided to take a wonderful leap, and I left my job, pretty decent job, because I was miserable. And I don't know if you've read already. I'm sure you have. You can see that I'm a singer. I'm a musician. And I felt caged. I felt, yes, I love people, but this is not the kind of customer service I want to do. So I decided to take a plunge. I had a great plan. I went out and I did that plan. Skip forward about the end of 2012. I found myself lacking everything. So my beautiful plan, of course, didn't work so well. At this point, I had lost my job or my business, the building. I lost the building. I had lost my car. I found myself homeless, and my fiance left me. That's a great way to end 2012. So this young Mama Sai who can tell everybody everything and has advice for the world found herself in an Eeyore state where she just began to think, what kind of mother am I? What kind of person am I? Here I am, and I'm a minister, and I can preach the gospel, and I can sing to the world, and I can encourage everyone, and I can show up to these venues and these shows, and I can encourage and offer everything I need to offer, but I go home to failure. I go home to this conversation in my head that says, you're not good enough. What kind of mother are you? Even this man who said he loved you didn't even. So this is where I was. I took some time and, like I said, being in the church, I sat with my Bible and I read. And I came across a scripture. And I read this scripture millions of times. But for some reason on this day, it made a little more sense to me. And I saw something that I hadn't seen before. The scripture is found in Matthew 22, verse 37 through 39. And there's a Sadducee lawyer who asked Christ, what's the greatest commandment? And he said it's to love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul. This is the greatest commandment. And I might not be quoting that exactly correct, but you get it. He said the second is like unto the first, that you love your neighbor as you love yourself. And I read it, and all of a sudden there's a word that jumped out at me and smacked me in the face. As. I said, as. Like, as. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. So as I'm looking there and I'm finding myself probably in one of my lowest moments, Mama Sai had no good words for herself. And in that moment, as jumped out at me, I realized that I had been reading this scripture totally wrong. Now, if I could guess, there are several people in this room who are mothers, fathers, business people. You have all kinds of obligations and all kinds of things that you give yourselves to, your wives, your girlfriends, your husbands, your boyfriends. You spend your time offering and giving and giving and giving. There's probably even some spiritual people in here who spend a lot of time thanking God for everything that you have and praying and meditating and all these wonderful things. So we've gotten some of that down. We figured out how to love God with all of our hearts. We know how to do that. And we've also mastered how to love our neighbors, at least the image of loving our neighbors. We've figured out how to present ourselves in a loving way to other people. But is it really authentic? Let's talk about that. How can I have a cup that is empty and offer you a drink? What we have forgotten to do is we need to switch that scripture around. To me, it came as there's 3 commandments here. The first commandment is to love God. The second commandment is to love yourself. Now, that feels selfish to a lot of us. And when I say that, I don't mean that I treat other people less than. But the truth is that as I begin to pour into myself, as I begin to give myself the love that I deserve, as I begin to forgive myself for the things that I haven't accomplished or I haven't done well, as I begin to turn those things into me, then my cup begins to fill. So as I'm coming from a full cup, now I can come to you from an abundant place and offer you a drink. I found that in my relationships, I would enter into this situation hoping and expecting that I would receive love. I found myself looking for someone else to treat me how I was treating them. And so what I would do is I would take and I would give and I would give and I would give. I'd give my time, I'd give my attention, Mama Sai in full effect. I'm gonna cook, I'm gonna do whatever you need, hon. What do you need? I got you. And I would expect it back. I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily, except how nice would it be if I took my full cup of love and self-acceptance and respect and courteousness, and this other person took their full cup of love and respect and self-assuredness, and we exchanged our cups. So I'm full, you're full, and we come together and give each other full cups. Don't we both have our full cups? Opposed to coming with my empty cup and saying, please fill it. Then you're empty because you had to fill my cup. If we can get to the place where we love from an authentic place, where I love you and I treat you and I respect you and I deal with you from a place of compassion, from an overflow of compassion, from an overflow of what is in me, because I've taken the time to love myself, the ultimate selfie. I have taken the time to sit away and be quiet with me. I've taken the time to have my own internal conversations and encourage me. Let me share a story with you very briefly. I was in a concert and I was up there about to do my thing, and it was a big stage. When I tell you a big stage, it was a big stage with a big name. And I was called out to sing. And when a singer gets called out to sing, you would expect the singer to sing. Not me. I froze. And I was like, no, right? So we go off stage because this show's over, and I tear myself a new one in the back because I'm so frustrated that I missed this opportunity. And the talk just said, how could you? What's wrong with you? How could you? Oh, my goodness. Oh. So I took myself to a mirror because I'm already learning. You got to love yourself. Treat you like you want to be. Treat you like you would treat your friend. So I went to the mirror. Happened to have a mirror back there. I guess it's a stage. You should have a mirror somewhere. And I looked myself in the eye, and I began to speak. Mama Sai rose up in that moment. Mama Sai looked at Saeeda and said, hey, you made a mistake. It's okay. You'll be fine. And next time, when the opportunity comes around, do right, do better. It's okay. Of course, it came around, and I did better. And I went out there, and I was stronger. But how many times have we offered that friendship, that stability, that love, that encouragement that we so desperately need to someone else, but won't do it for ourselves? My encouragement for you today is to take the time. For some people, it is seeking your dream. I'm in the middle of my dream. That leap I took in 2011, the fall that I had by 2012, the turnaround that happened in 2013, and then being on that big stage by 2014. It's just a testament to me being true to myself. It's a testament to me figuring out what brings me joy and going after that. Not being afraid, but also not being dumb. Understanding that I must educate myself in order to move forward. That's what it is. It's doing what you must do, what you owe yourself. Recognizing what causes you pain and eliminating that. Recognizing what is trying to attack you and kill you and eliminating that. Don't engage in destructive behavior. One more thing, I discovered that I had an allergy to gluten. Right? Of course it's Oregon, everyone has a gluten allergy. But I really do. It was terrible, you know? I had some wheat pasta and almost died. Everything swelled up, started itching, and, we won't talk about everything else, but it was bad. Now, I love food. It's good. But, I got to the point where I said, well, I can eat this hamburger with a bun on it and itch for the next 3 days. Or I can choose to love myself and take the bun off. Right? So all I'm saying is, it's not monumental necessarily, but it might be. The little things. Take time, figure it out, find out what it is that makes you happy, and do that. Fill yourself up with love and joy and hope and healing. Fill yourself. That way when you come to relationships and when we get together and we get off our cell phones and we sit down and we converse with one another, we are giving and offering from our full cups. Out of our abundance, we're giving from a place of love. Wonderful. Now, I have a little treat. I want to offer my gift to you. I would like to invite some friends to the stage with me. We have Zach Polwhite coming up, and I have a good friend of mine who I think you all may have seen at some point today, Mr. Mark Powers. We just, this song is very near and dear to me. It came out of a wonderful conversation that I had, and we were talking about loving your neighbors. I do want to leave you with one thing. It's Lupus Awareness Month, and so we throw up the L for that. But I also want to leave you with another imagery for the L. Don't forget that it's love God, love yourself, then you can love everybody else. It's the L shape. Remember that. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Can't stand the sight of me because of what your friends told you. But if you took the time to see, inside of me is just like you. We both put our shoes on, one foot at a time. It's such a shame, pride keeps us blind. Can we make a change? Life in vain. Rise up, it's time to pray. All I want to know is what happened to love. society of perpetual fear. Just false evidence appearing real. Disillusion leads to confusion. Oh, when will the truth prevail? So can we make a change?